Happy New Year.
Well, hello, somebody. Welcome back to Inside the Trenches. I told y'all we had a really good show for y'all. We have our special guest in the building. I know that last segment was off the chain. We had to talk Saints. We had to break down the roster, so we will do more of that. Before I introduce my next guest, I want to take this time to thank all of our sponsors for the show. Robert Wolf Construction and Real Estate. They're at 143 Lapalco Boulevard right there in Gretna, Louisiana. Hit Rob up. Let him, if you're looking to get some reconstruction to your house, new construction, whatever the call is, Rob has you. Let him know you heard about him on Inside the Trenches. He told us he'll hook them up with their paint. Like the paint will be on them. If they use the code BigFave504, he'll go right there to Lowe's. He said he'll buy the paint for the house. That's out of my man's Robert Wolf's mouth. Use the code word BigFave. That phone number is 504-393-2445. And Ellis Security as well. Like, they got the Super Bowl coming up, and they got events around the Super Bowl. Hit up Ellis Security. Y'all could call them at 504-392-4424, or you could visit their location. They're right there at 2304 Manhattan Boulevard. They're hiring armed or unarmed guards. Yeah. Man, you need that little hustle money to get that thing rolling, man. And
we need security.
Yes, indeed.
Definitely.
And listen, lastly here, if you're a construction company, an electrical company, you need like chassis, those big trucks that you could put somebody on all the way to the sky type stuff. You might want to holler at my boy over at Lamar Ford, Crescent City, my homie Sheldon George Sheldon. Hey, bro, is that real, dog?
That's that Notre Dame boy, huh?
Yes, indeed. Oh, yeah, you know he fucked up right now.
Yeah.
Hit up Sheldon. They roll. Hey, bro, they come down to New Orleans and win. That was big time. 504-734-3579. So shouts out to all our sponsors with Inside the Trenches. My next guest, Troy Sawyer, is in the building.
Yeah, what's going on?
Y'all be sure to follow my homie at Troy Sawyer Music. Listen, a big time treat if you're looking for a great sound, nice music. They perform at a lot of the venues here, him and his band. We go back to Great Day, Louisiana. He came on the show, Great Day, did the deal with us. So shouts out to Casey for getting him on over here.
Thank you, Casey.
Welcome to the show, Big Time.
Oh, it feels good to be here.
I'm like, who is this guy walking in here, CL?
No.
What are dreads at?
I didn't notice it.
Yeah.
When you walked in the door, I promise you, I ain't really look. I was too busy running my mouth. But I didn't notice you. I
had to cut them off about like 3 years ago.
Okay.
You know, I had my dreads for about 20 years. I just felt like it was that time, and like stepping into the new energy and the new things that I have in storage for me, that God has in store for me, is a transitional phase for me right now.
Now, for our folks don't really know Troy, tell us about how your musical journey started. What's your sound, and how they can download some of your sound, your music.
Well, I come from a musical family, so like my first instrument was a violin. So I picked up the violin when I was in kindergarten, first grade. So I played that for a couple of years. I wasn't feeling the violin after a while, and I told my mom, I said, "Mom, I'm not feeling the violin." And she asked me, like, which instrument you want to play next? If you want to play an instrument? I said, I think I still want to play an instrument, but it was this band that was marching down the streets of New Orleans, St. Augustine Marching 100.
Okay.
Shout out to Purple Night.
All right, Purple Night.
So I heard this instrument, and then my mama took me to the jazz concert, and I went to Marsalis, and it was trumpet, right? And I said, you know what, Mom, I want to be like when Marsalis be on that stage playing that trumpet. So she bought me a trumpet from the pawn shop. She didn't want to buy me a brand new trumpet. She's like, oh, now I'm not going to waste my money on a brand new trumpet.
We're going to see first.
We're going to see, we're going to check it out first.
Right.
And then so she bought me this trumpet from the pawn shop, and then I played that. And I was like, yeah, this is my voice. This is my instrument. So I've been playing ever since 4th grade. And my mama bought me a brand new trumpet after that, after I was getting into it and, playing for a while. My first professional gig was at the Zulu Club.
How old were you?
I think I was like 12.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Right.
They did that gig. I paid about $50 to do a 10-minute set. I'm like, oh yeah, this is where it's at. So I've been rocking and rolling with playing music, and then I was going to pursue other things, in life. And I was like, I could always play my trumpet and get into music anytime I want to. But like what really encouraged me to keep going was in 1996 when I attended the first Satchmo Jazz Camp. Where they had like all of us, that trombone shorty, Big Sam, like all of us was at this camp, and they had this avant-garde pianist named Cecil Taylor. and he was the guest artist. And so he came in the room. He said, jazz is all about self-expression. No one can teach you how to express yourself. He said, I want everyone to stand up one at a time and express yourself. He said, there's no such thing as a bad note or wrong note. So everybody felt empowered.
Wow.
And so I was like, you know what? I want to play jazz. I want to express myself. No one can tell me how I can express myself. And that's how I live today. And that's what the whole Rock Your Soul movement is about, which is the title of my album and the title of a song featuring Rock and Doopsie. It's all about, expressing yourself and understanding that you're unique and no one can say what you can say. Everyone has their own voice. And so, from that point on, I've just been rocking and rolling with just creating music and giving back to the community through various ways of teaching. When I was teaching in the school system, I felt like it was that time for me to do my own thing, to give back to my community and have autonomy over the vision. And so Girls Play Trumpets too, which is my nonprofit to inspire girls ages 8 through 19 to play the trumpet. It's all about empowering them with all of the tools so they could be successful and maximize those opportunities that may present themselves.
Yeah, I saw your hat.
It's on the head, man. Yeah, we got merch.
I want to ask you about that because I was looking that up. So Girls Play Trumpet too. This is your second annual event coming up here soon with the.
So what's coming up? We just finished our second annual holiday concert, which was at the Ellis Marsalis Center for Music, and we had a guest artist, Tank from Tank and the Bangers, came through.
Okay,
that's cool.
Oh yeah,
Shouts
we
out
had
to
Elena
Tank.
Moreno. She was our hostess for the event, and we had a good time. And we have two trumpet players. They're women, young women, that are pursuing it professionally.
Okay.
And so Lady Satch, she's from New Orleans. She went to NOCA. She goes to Berklee College of Music. Shout out to Lady Satch holding it down for New Orleans.
For sure.
And then we have Bella. She just recently graduated from NOCA, and now she goes to New School of Music on the scholarship. They're both on the scholarship. So they're a part of Girls Play Trumpets too. Lady Satch is one of our instructors, and we have instructors all over the country.
Come on.
Tatiana Tate, she's from the Bay Area.
Yeah.
Okay.
And LA too. So she
And y'all all connected?
Yeah. So she was the trumpet player. I don't know if you saw that Dolce Tiny Desk.
Yeah,
She was the trumpet player
Wow.
I
that
saw
played.
that. That's
Yeah,
dope.
she's dealing. So she's
Success
part of Girls
stories
Play Trumpets,
already.
too. She chimed in via Zoom and talked to the girls and told her story, and she talked about that experience on Tiny Desk. Like she said, that was the best performance venue that she ever performed
sure.
at. And she said,
Biggest platform, sure.
A couple of weeks before they taped it, they hired her, and she didn't know who else was on the gig. So she went to rehearsal, and she like, oh, that's my girl. They all like connect. They all sisters, you know what I mean? And so they all
That's
came
tight.
together, and that's why she like that energy y'all felt. It was genuine because everybody
Right.
deal with each other. Everybody know each other. It's like you
Yeah.
and I, we've been knowing each other for a long time, man.
Yeah.
Hey,
That-
bro, hello somebody. Tiny Desk coming soon.
Oh, for sure.
Sawyer,
For
bro.
sure.
Here you go.
For sure.
Rock your soul.
For sure. Look, I ain't scared to catch a flight to NYC.
Yeah, you already know.
But yeah, brother, it's crazy. We all talking about how we all know each other.
Right.
I can't even think of the first year that we ran across each
Yeah,
other.
bro. It was just
And-
out there. On the
Yeah,
streets.
so obviously I'm born and raised from New Orleans, Louisiana. I'm truly, and when we say that, I need y'all to realize that when somebody say they're from New Orleans, that means they've been through everything from New Orleans, the ups, the downs, the storms, the death, everything.
Yeah.
We've been through everything. So when we see each other, we constantly see each other. We know that God chose us to be here.
That's right.
Because especially after a huge storm, especially everything that we have going on in New Orleans, and we still able to survive and be blessed to see each other. So that was the journey I think me and you kind of embarked upon. Over the years, we've seen each other a million times. And there was times where I would get to events, you know me, I'm always fashionably late. I get to an event, I'll be like, he'll be walking out and be like, damn, I missed you. Like,
He's right about that.
So one time, I don't know, I can't even think of where we were at.
You're right.
And something happened, and you was like, yeah, this my time of the year. And we looked at each other. He was like, when your birthday?
November 8th.
Yeah, mine's the 9th. And that's
Yeah,
so
man,
we
that happened
Scorpio
recently,
brothers.
too.
So we Scorpio brother, and then that almost galvanized us
Right.
even more. Like so when we see each other. So even when he cut his hair, I was like, oh. You know, just seeing them because you know you always see them.
Yeah.
And brother, I've been a follower. And how about this? I heard about Girls Play Trumpet. Had no idea that you were involved in it, brother.
Yeah, found
It once again, it's all, especially inside the trenches. It's always a full circle moment for me
Yeah.
because every time Faves talks about it, oh well, yeah, I know them.
Yep, everybody that
Yeah,
come
because
on.
this is New Orleans,
Right.
and this is what we hold our hat on. That it's truly a community that is woven into the fabric, and music, sports, culture
Right.
is what we lead in.
Exactly, man. And I always know, you know how they say, you know how a person makes you feel. And every time we would see each other, it was all love.
Yep,
You know what I mean? All love every time, man.
Since you're talking about like the different shows and the things you did, which one of your shows was probably the most memorable? I can remember for me, out of all the shows that we've done, you know, on the music end, I can remember performing at Grooving on the Grounds at Ellis. It was like 400 some people. Like that was the one time I thought about jumping into the crowd, and I was about 320 at the time too. So
Baby, don't do it.
So do you have any moments like that? Any shows that's like, man, that was my most memorable?
Oh, definitely. Definitely.
Come on.
I have two of them that
Come on.
happened in this country, Spain.
Oh,
So yeah, when I was in Spain, right before Katrina hit, I did a 2-month tour of Spain.
Wow.
And our first gig was in Pamplona for the Running with the Bulls concert. The first gig at midnight. And I had to open up the set playing the lick. And the band would come in on that one.
Yeah.
So every time we did this gig, I had to open it up. Oh, man, to see thousands of people in all white on.
Yeah, Running
saying,
with the
ole,
Bulls.
ole, ole, ole. And I'm like, man, this is where it's at. So that was like the first introduction to Spain when we did that gig. Now, when we went to another city, this was a memorable moment also. And I tell certain people, this is my first time talking about this live and direct to the
Come on,
public.
appreciate it.
The first and only time, it was during the daytime. So I played there, this beautiful woman from Spain. She was like, beautiful black man. And she took her panties off and threw them at me. I'm like, wow. I would never forget that moment.
that's right. That's fine.
But you know what? Then it was just like Spain. That's why I want to go back to Spain and set up shop in Spain. My whole
sure.
vision is to create a New Orleans style restaurant where you have live music, you know, house blues type of vibe. But Spain, it was just so much love out there. I played on. There's this venue. It's almost like Red Rock.
All
in
right.
Okay, Colorado.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where,
Amphitheater.
Denver. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where I played. That was my first time playing on top.
Acoustically.
Yeah. It was in this mountain,
fire.
right?
Yeah, yeah.
And it was the same little setup as a venue that's in this mountain. And so, you know, those are my memorable moments of playing,
Right.
you know, out of all of the gigs I've done
That's
all over
tight.
the world.
International.
Well, I would love to ask you this question, brother, because people seem to ask me this question.
Yeah.
With all your success, with all your talent, what keeps you in New Orleans, brother?
That's a good question. You know, I'm getting honored at the NOTCF Gala this weekend.
Really?
Congrats, man.
Thank you for emerging always, but I have emerged. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But I feel it feels good to be honored by my people, because when I was in Spain and Katrina, I didn't even know Katrina was on his way until I came back to America, and I evacuated the next day
Wow.
to my cousin's house. One of my cousins, Leon Bridges. He's
All
a
right.
singer, yeah. Evacuated to his house to where I inspired him because he was like, man, he came from Spain and now he signed to Columbia. He's doing his thing.
Wow.
Oh, that's
He got a
fire.
Grammy, and I introduced him to PJ because PJ and I we went to St. Aug
Okay.
together, and we were at the Ace Hotel when PJ Mo was doing those open mics back
Yeah.
in the day, and I introduced PJ to my cuz. And that year, they were tied for a Grammy for like best R&B album, something it was.
Wow.
Oh, that's
I'm like, you even know they could tie.
Another New Orleans
Yeah,
story.
so what keeps me in New Orleans are the people and the love that I cannot experience anywhere. I've traveled all over the world, and there's no place like New Orleans. But going back to when I was in Spain, my journey was going to be what I wanted to do. My plan was to move to New York City because I felt like my sound. I'm more progressive with the music that I create.
Right.
You know, Miles Davis was one of my favorite trumpet players. Like, Louis Armstrong was there, but like Miles Davis and like Freddie Hubbard, Lee Morgan, all those cats, they're the ones that I was looking up to that were more progressive with their
Right.
playing. You know what I mean?
Right.
But Louis
Freestyle.
Armstrong laid the foundation, and Buddy Bolden from New Orleans laid the foundation for every trumpet player to do what they do. But like when I was forced away because of Katrina, I don't like to be forced to do anything. So I was forced away. And when I evacuated to my cousin's house in Crowley, Texas, and then I went to University of Texas to finish my degree up in music education, I went to Spanish Harlem. I stayed in Spanish Harlem for a while. And then I came back to New Orleans because I felt like it was my responsibility to come back and rebuild New Orleans. And I don't like to be forced to do anything. I was forced away. So I came back, and it wasn't any gigs. It was all about rebuilding New Orleans. And then I became one of the youngest homeowners in the Musicians Village. That Harry Connick Jr. and Branford Marsalis came up with that concept of creating affordable housing for musicians. I felt like God actually rewarded me for staying true to the purpose and coming back to New Orleans. Because by me being one of the youngest homeowners in the Musicians Village, I was getting a lot of attention. Like I did MTV Cribs, did a whole set.
Wow.
Yeah.
When?
We're going to have to Google that one.
This is 2000, I think, 7 or 6. Right before I moved into my house, because they had me go down the street that the house was messed up and play the blues. It was doing their spring break edition.
Wow.
And then I walked to my house and played, some happy music, like When the Saints Go Marching In, And so, and then the sheetrock wasn't up. And I was giving them a tour of, like, I have my studio here, have this and there.
Wow.
And that's when, rest in peace, Jimmy Carter. Jimmy Carter came to my house. He was part of.
Wow.
It's a partnership.
Noble Peace,
It's a partnership with Habitat for Humanity. He was all about that. And so Jimmy Carter came to the house, and like so many people came. Like Method Man came to my house before. I did the Harry Connick show in my house. Like so many people. When I was single too, I had so many.
Oh boy!
You missed out.
That's why we know each other so well.
If y'all are just tuning in to Inside the Trenches, we're joined by musician Troy Sawyer. Y'all make sure y'all follow him at Troy Sawyer Music on Instagram, Twitter. This is something about New Orleans, y'all.
Yeah.
It's so many people that's super famous, but on a cool. Like this man sitting next to me, like, even PJ came on the show before. I mean, this man Maroon 5, this international band, and it's just.
We played in a jazz band together.
I went to St.
Oh, you talking about PJ Morton?
Morton.
Do you realize me and PJ used to go to Sunday school together on Liberty Street, Uptown?
Right.
My mother was Paul Morton Sr. and Miss Deborah Morton's their nurse. Wow. My mother was their nurse. Whoa. And so me and PJ and his sister, with Jasmine, we all grew up. We all grew up in that, and it was really the bookstore, right there on Liberty, right next to Greater St. Stephen's. So just like you said, and that's the one thing, and I would tell anybody this. That's why we're able to make movies in New Orleans with no problem. We don't have much problems with paparazzi or anything because everybody in New Orleans feel like they a star anywhere.
Everybody's somebody.
And so, we have a guy like Troy, and he walks the city normally. We have a guy like Shorty, my New Orleans cousin, because we got a whole story with that, right? And these guys walk the streets like it's a regular holiday, and that is the mentality of New Orleans. And I believe you are chosen to come back to this place, brother. And I want to personally thank you because without you coming back, we would have never knew that we were Scorpio brothers.
Right.
I wonder why them ladies like you like they do.
This is a really great conversation because it speaks on the fabric of the actual city of New Orleans and how over time, man, our culture really affects the world.
Oh, for sure.
Yes.
And when you think about the actual music of New Orleans, how they say, oh man, hip hop was born in New York, and it's like, we know about the chop and screw sound from Texas. Yep. When you think of New Orleans as a whole, the fabric, it's so much talented artists, but it's all birthed from jazz. Yeah. Oh, back to the Louis Armstrong days. And I want to get your opinion on that, Troy. Talk about the fabric of the music here in the city and the effect that it had not only on you, but just the artists that you know in the culture.
Well, growing up in New Orleans, everybody is doing something musical. Whether you drumming with some pencils on something, everybody got their music in them in New Orleans. It's part of our fabric, part of our DNA. And so by me being a part of a musical family, and my great-grandfather actually co-wrote songs with the great Buddy Bolden, the forefather of jazz, you know what I mean? So to be a part of this culture and its history, it only motivates you to either appreciate it or do it. You
That's
know?
real. That's real.
And so I would say what keeps me going is the fact that the teachers that poured into me, my village, my family that poured into me, people who I see on the streets, so my boy right here, we always motivate each
Right.
other and inspire each other to keep going. We don't have to say too much.
Right.
You know
True
what I mean?
that.
Right.
And so
It's that look.
yeah, it's that look.
see you.
It's that look.
Boy.
And then, by them passing it down to me, that's what the difference of any other city in America for us maintaining and passing it down. We have done a good job because I just came from Memphis for the Grammy holiday party.
Okay.
And so one thing in Memphis, they have a lot of history that a lot of people don't know about.
Oh, for sure.
You know,
Right,
Stax Records. They did a whole documentary about Stax Records that just came out that was just beautiful how they put that together. But going there, that history of that soul music that came out of Stax, but the younger generation don't appreciate it because the older generation didn't do a good job of passing it down to keep it going, to preserve the culture and the music. And the one thing I would say that New Orleans has is that we have done a good job with preserving our culture and passing it down to the next generation. That's like what Girls Play Trumpets too.
Right.
It's amazing how I started with 8 girls. Now we have close to almost 100 girls with our partnerships.
Wow.
In the past 2 years, we're going on our 3rd year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man,
And-
it's inspiring a whole other generation.
yes,
man. Like,
yes.
that's
To see,
crazy.
and then to see so many young girls and ladies on the stage playing the trumpet with confidence. They want to be there. They want to be there. And so we empower them. I always say that we're bigger than the music program. We're a movement
Right.
because it's all about empowering them where they're getting financial literacy classes from, we have a partnership with Chase. They learn about environmental ocean justice.
Right.
They're learning an African language, which a lot of our kids, if they learn a second language in New Orleans, they learn in Spanish, French, now they're doing Mandarin, Chinese.
Wow.
But this city is the closest city to Africa than any other city in America. Why are we not teaching our kids an African language? So my friend is from Tanzania, right? He moved down here about 10, 15 years ago, and we met each other teaching. So I was like, when I saw Girls Play Trumpets too, I said, man, you know what? Can you teach the girls Swahili? So he's teaching them, they learn how to speak an African language, Swahili. We're about to create a culture exchange with Tanzania. I just came from Belize. And I went to Belize in November. So I'm about to do a whole culture exchange in Belize. And one thing about Belize is that they're wide open because they're African drumline based. They haven't been exposed to Western wind instruments. So we're going to be increasing the music education in the whole country of Belize. I talked to the superintendent. He's like, whatever you need, he's. So I'm all about expanding the movement, which it goes back to the Rock Your Soul movement. And so like Girls Play Trumpets too, when you see them perform, you're going to feel that confidence and you're going to see, okay, they're not just, they say, we're going to go see some girls, they look cute and playing, but nah, these girls are really playing.
Yeah, they blonde.
They're playing. Oh, yeah. And they motivate each other. You got people on different levels, like Tatiana Tate.
Yeah.
She's showing, okay, I'm on this level, I'm on the tiny desk, and I'm taking this serious. But one thing I would say, all those professional female trumpet players, they will always say that they wish they had this program when they were growing up to give them that support, because, it's a male-dominated industry. And so we want to just keep this movement going.
He brought up Swahili, right?
Right.
Matesha,
Come on.
Lion King.
Just
Oh,
one-
no, not the stick. Subscribe.
Yeah.
That's the language they spoke in Lion King. That was Swahili.
Jumbo.
Well, I knew that you were all over, brother. That's what I did. I knew that you were everywhere. And it was amazing to hear that you were the first guy in the musical village. I want to shout out my mama because she brought my first saxophone from a pawn shop.
tight.
Yeah.
And the first time I played it for somebody was for Darryl Dickerson, the band
Oh,
director
Darryl Dickerson.
at Livingston.
And he's at Ellis Marsalis Center over the studio.
Come on.
He
man.
recorded
Small world.
some of my majority
I've
of
been
my
trying
album.
to catch up with Darryl Dickerson.
Oh, bro, I'm
forever.
gonna
Thank
connect you with
brother.
him.
So just that connection alone,
Yeah.
just hearing that, listening to listening to the New York situation and the Harlem situation.
Yeah.
My vision is to just like the Harlem Renaissance picture.
Yeah.
And shouts out to the great Alfred Woodard. It's because of her.
Right.
I'm familiar with Harlem and the
Yes.
Harlem Renaissance
Right.
area. My vision is to get all of the musicians of New Orleans, obviously you and everyone else, and we need to do a New Orleans Harlem Renaissance
Yeah, we
picture,
do.
you know, because we're losing so many musicians.
Yeah.
We're losing so many musicians. The great Allen Toussaint
Yeah.
and so on and so forth.
Yeah, you know what? I'm so glad you brought that up because we got funding to restore the Musicians Village Park that's been neglected, right? And so I got Monica Kelly Rose who did the mural on the building used to be that Beauty Mart on
Yeah.
Elysian Fields.
Yeah.
And,
On the left-hand side.
When you
Rampart.
get off the
Yeah, on Rampart.
Across from Circle?
Right there on that corner.
By Circle Fuso?
No, on Elysian Fields and Rampart.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a city market or whatever.
Yeah.
It's
Vietnamese.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So we got her as the artist to do a mural on the fence in the Musicians Village Park, and we honoring the 4 founding members of Girls Play Trumpets 2 that's still rocking with us right now. Veronique Dorsey, they plays trumpet with the Piness Brass Band.
Okay.
And we honoring those musicians that passed away in the Musicians Village, like Smokey Johnson that played drums for Fast Domino. He wrote the song "It Ain't My Fault." And
wow.
he sued Master P for that. Oh, it ain't my fault.
Oh,
They got money.
wow.
They got money later on in life. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah,
yeah.
You know, they
Better
had like
late than never.
the great Bob French and like King Harvey. Some of those people that passed away. Then we honoring those living legends that live in the Musicians Village right now, like Little Freddie King, who is the oldest blues artist that's living in the city. That's my neighbor. And then we have
Wow, that's
Carnival Time. That wrote the song. Oh, it's Carnival
it's
Time.
Carnival
Yeah,
Time.
right. And he's sick, and so you know, I told him we're gonna put you on the mural. He was just so excited and so appreciative, man. And he's not doing well. It's another person who is a living legend that hasn't really gotten his flowers. I remember I did a gig with him. They flew us to D.C. I'm sitting next to him. I'm like, man, I know you got a lot of money from that song. He said, Troy, do you know when I recorded that song? I was 15 years old. He said, that song wasn't even the one that's supposed to be the hit. He didn't think that was going to be the hit.
Right.
And he said because he didn't understand the business, because you know people
Always the
they kept their
snakes.
music business. Certain
Come
you
on.
know, people, Europeans came to New Orleans to capture and record black people and black musicians. But they paid them peanuts, but therefore it's like royalties, publishing. They got all that. So every time you hear Carnival Time,
Wow.
he's not getting a penny from that.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So we have to constantly remind everyone of those living legends and those legends that have passed away. That's why I'm appreciative that NOTCF is honoring me because I've always felt as though I had to get away from New Orleans so my music can be heard or respected. And I always say, Louis Armstrong is not buried in New Orleans for a reason. That's all I got to say.
Man, this is before we let you go, Troy, this has been a great segment, man. It's so much that I've learned just in 30 minutes.
Right, quick.
What's new for 2025? Like, what projects you got
2025.
coming up?
Come on.
Oh, 2025 is popping.
Come on. Ooh,
It's
I
popping.
can't
You
wait.
know what I mean? We got some stuff happening for Super Bowl.
Super Bowl. Sure.
We got some partnerships, some really good corporate partnerships with Girls Play Trumpets too. That's going to elevate us to do these cultural exchanges. And I'm working on my second album right now that was inspired from my time in Belize. So you're going to feel, when you hear this album, you're going to feel like you're in Belize and New Orleans because we got that connection. So it's going to, I'm excited for a lot of things that's going to happen. And the fact I'm going to be traveling more because I have been selected to be a part of the speaking group for the U.S. Embassy to go out and talk about the culture and the history and perform. So I'm going to be performing. Yeah, 2025 is going to be on and popping, you know.
Congratulations,
Yeah,
brother.
thanks.
I'm going to
Thanks.
just let you know you're not going to be alone in Belize.
Oh, yeah.
See, I'm going with-
I'm going to let you know. I'm going to let you know.
Yeah, let your boy know.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to let you know.
But on a serious note, brother, and once again, I am so. You don't know what this does for me, right?
Yeah.
Just the connection and
Right.
it constantly happens every time.
Every time,
because
man.
I'm gonna tell you no lie. I never know who coming. I do that on purpose. I let it be a surprise.
Okay.
What do you see for the future for you in New Orleans?
So I see me just continually doing what I'm doing and to bring New Orleans to as many places all over the world, this experience, this culture that we cannot keep to ourselves, which that's what we normally do. but like do it intentionally to expand and to bridge those gaps. And so it's bigger than me right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's bigger than me.
Well, we thank you so much for coming on the show. We up against the clock.
Oh,
y'all
yeah.
make sure y'all check out his new album. Check out go on
Oh, yeah.
Apple Music.
Yeah.
Troy Sawyer.
Music.com.
Check it out,
Yeah,
baby.
there.
All the new stuff.
Girlsplaytrumpets2.org, TOO.org.
And
Check out the movie.
when is the next? When is the next project or next event with the girls play trumpets too?
So we I can't tell you about that.
Well, we're gonna keep that
you're
a
right.
secret.
It's a secret.
That's how you know big things popping.
tuned.
That's how you know big things popping.
Well, we want to thank Small
That's the
Size
scope of your
for all that they do for the show. Y'all remember, y'all go to 1635 Barataria Boulevard in Marrero. And you can also pre-order your party packs. Just call 504-327-6644 for Piccolo and Ramos and Montero Motors and Robert Wolf Construction, Ellis Security, and my man over there, Sheldon, he had me use some bad language earlier. Now I'm just clowning. And Lamarck Ford, Crescent City. Y'all, thank y'all for all that y'all do for the show. And thank y'all, too, for tuning in. Remember, you can hit the like and subscribe button for Inside the Trenches with Marlon Favorite. We'll have more exciting episodes right here live at New Orleans Talk Network. We'll be back next Monday. Hopefully it'll be a little warmer outside here in New Orleans. We're not used to that much cold. But we'll be back 6:30 to 8:30 live at Small Sliders as we do every Monday. CL Nola, shouts out to my co-host, he the man. Again, my man
Only
Troy,
on the weekends.
coldest trumpet player
I appreciate y'all.
internationally.
I can't wait to come back, man.
Oh,
We
for
got
sure.
vibes over here.
Yes, indeed. Terry Keelan, Mike, all of them over at the studio here in New Orleans Talk Network. Thank y'all so much.
Great job.
We'll be back next week. Hello, somebody. Y'all have a blessed one. Peace.